Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are diving deep into something super relevant, I think, to everyone, and that's managing all those pesky feelings.
Yeah.
Stress, anxiety, depression.
Well, yeah, those are big ones.
Right. I mean, who hasn't felt those things at some point, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we found this source. It's laid out like one of those online videos, those how-to things, but we're going to break it down
Okay, yeah.
and add like extra insights, all that good stuff. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, cool. So first thing that really pops out from this source is they're like mental health,
Yeah.
eyes health.
Yeah.
Like it's not this separate thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so important, and it's great that people are finally starting to talk about it more openly
Right.
because, for so long it was kind of like this hush-hush topic,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's really not helpful
No, no, not at all.
because it's so connected to everything else in our lives. Like it affects our work, our relationships, even our physical health, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's all intertwined. And you know what? The source actually mentions, like, how common these issues are.
Really?
And, in a way, that's kind of reassuring
How so?
because it shows you that, hey, you're not alone in this. Like, a lot of people struggle with these things.
That's a good point. It's like it normalizes it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the first things they dig into is mindfulness. But it's not just like the basic definition. They actually get into this technique called RAIN.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Recognize, allow, investigate, nurture.
Uh,
Have you ever used this, like in your practice or anything?
I have. It's basically about acknowledging your emotions,
Right, yeah.
but, like, not getting totally swept away by them.
Oh, that's like really hard sometimes.
It is. But instead of trying to like push away those difficult feelings, you kind of learn to observe them, understand where they're coming from, and treat yourself with a little compassion.
It's like being like a curious observer of your own like inner world.
Yeah, exactly. Like stepping back and just noticing what's happening without judgment.
I like that. So then they jump into this simple breathing exercise.
Oh, yeah, the classic deep breathing.
Right. Deep inhale, hold, slow exhale. But like we all know about deep breathing, but why is it so effective? Like, is there science behind it?
Totally. When you breathe deeply, it actually triggers all these physiological changes in your body. Like it slows down your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure,
Oh, wow.
and it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that calms you down.
So it's like hitting the like reset button for your nervous system.
Exactly.
Cool. And then they get into this other technique, which is engaging your senses to ground yourself.
Oh, yeah, grounding. That's a good one.
Right. Focusing on what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch in that moment. What's the thinking behind that?
So when you're anxious, your mind tends to race, right? It's like all those what ifs about the future.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Right. Grounding brings you back to the present moment by focusing on like tangible sensations. It's like shifting your attention from all those thoughts to something concrete, something real.
Okay, yeah, so you're basically anchoring yourself to reality.
Exactly.
I like that. So moving on from mindfulness, they get into meditation,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like really adamant that meditation is not just for monks on a mountaintop.
It's for everyone. I mean, you don't have to be like a spiritual guru or anything.
Totally. And they talk about how even just 5 minutes a day can like rewire your brain for calm.
Yeah, the research on this is pretty amazing.
Really?
Like regular meditation can actually change the structure and function of your brain.
Wow.
It makes you more resilient to stress.
That's so interesting. So they suggest starting with guided meditations.
Oh, yeah, those are great, especially for beginners.
Right. And they're super accessible. There's like apps, videos, all sorts of stuff. Do you have any favorites you recommend?
There are so many good ones out there. I mean, Calm and Headspace are really popular, especially if you're just starting out.
Okay.
And they have like guided meditations for everything, like stress reduction, sleep, focus, you name it.
I have to check those out.
Yeah, definitely.
So moving on, the source also talks about self-care.
Yeah.
And they're like super clear that it's not selfish.
Yeah, self-care is so important, and it's not about being indulgent.
Right. It's about taking care of yourself so you can show up as your best self.
Exactly. And the source actually calls it an act of self-preservation.
I love that.
It's essential, just like eating healthy or getting enough sleep.
It's like it's a necessity, not a luxury.
Exactly.
They talk about creating a self-care routine with activities that bring you joy and relaxation. What are some things that work for you? Like, what do you do for self-care?
Well, for me, it's spending time in nature.
Yeah.
Going for walks, reading a good book, or even just having like a quiet cup of tea,
Nice. Yeah.
just finding those moments to recharge.
And then there's staying connected with friends and family, right? They say even those like short positive interactions can make a big difference.
That's so true. And, it's not just about being around people. It's about feeling seen and heard,
Oh, yeah.
having those meaningful connections where you feel understood.
That makes sense. So they wrap up with this really powerful message, which is it's okay to ask for help.
I'm glad they emphasize that. There's still so much stigma around seeking professional help, but it's a sign of strength, not weakness.
For sure.
And there are so many resources available now, like therapists, counselors, support groups, even online platforms.
Absolutely. So we've covered some really powerful tools for like managing stress, anxiety, and depression.
Yeah, a lot of great takeaways.
But like the real magic happens when we actually apply them.
Exactly. It's all about taking action.
Right. So as you're listening to this, think about which of these resonated most with you.
And ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today?
Yeah. What can you do today to cultivate a calmer, happier you?
It doesn't have to be a huge change. Just start small and be kind to yourself along the way.
I love that. You've got this.
You do.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you next time.